You did not choose most of what you'll do in the next hour. Your nervous system already did years ago. In 1890, a Harvard psychologist wrote the sentence a modern entrepreneur would echo more than a century later. Both of them were pointing at the same first hour you're in right now. William James spent a chapter of the Principles of Psychology on a single, unglamorous idea: habit. He wrote it in 1890, decades before anyone used the word neuroscience, and the sentence still holds. All our life, so far as it has definite form, is but a mass of habits, practical, emotional, and intellectual, systematically organized for our weal or woe, and bearing us irresistibly toward our destiny, whatever the latter may be. Read that again slowly. Not some of your life, all of it, so far as it has definite form. The version of you that exists right now, this morning, is mostly the sum of grooves you wore into your own nervous system without ever deciding to. James didn't leave it as an observation. He gave a prescription, and it's aimed directly at the hour you're in. The great thing, then, in all education, is to make our nervous system our ally instead of our enemy. For this we must make automatic and habitual, as early as possible, as many useful actions as we can. Not later in the day, when willpower is already spent negotiating with emails and other people's demands. Early, while the groove is still soft enough to shape. More than 100 years later, an entrepreneur named Naval Ravikant said something that sounds almost like a modern translation of the same warning, aimed at a different enemy. Where James worried about the nervous system running on autopilot, Naval's writing points at the feed, running it for you instead. His widely shared framing: a calm mind, a fit body, and a house full of love cannot be bought. They must be earned hour by ordinary hour, starting with this one. Here is what connects a 19th century Harvard lecture hall to a 21st century tech founder's essay. Neither of them believes the first hour is neutral. James says it is already being organized in a habit, whether you notice or not. Naval says it is already being claimed by something, an app, a feed, a stranger's opinion, unless you claim it first. Put them together, and the instruction is simple and almost uncomfortable. The mass of habits James described as being built right now, in this hour, by whatever you do next. You don't get to opt out of forming it. You only get to choose whether you're the one shaping it. Most people treat the first hour as a buffer, the space between waking and real responsibility, safe to spend however feels easiest. James would call that a category error. There is no buffer. Every action in that hour, reaching for the phone or reaching for water, checking the feed or checking in with yourself, is already training the nervous system that runs the other 23 hours. The groove doesn't wait for permission. It forms either way. This is why I'll build good habits eventually, once things settle down, doesn't hold up under James's framing. Things never settle down. The nervous system is being organized into a mass of habits on an ordinary Tuesday morning exactly as much as on any dramatic turning point. The turning point isn't coming. This hour is already it. So ask honestly, if someone mapped the actual pattern of your last 30 mornings, not what you intended, what you actually did in the first hour, what massive habits would that map reveal? Is it a pattern that's bearing you toward the person you're trying to become? Or a groove you wore in on autopilot years ago that nobody's revisited since? You don't need to overhaul the whole hour today. James only asked for one thing made automatic. Naval only asked for 1 hour reclaimed. Which one is it for you starting tomorrow? Let go of the idea that the pattern is fixed. A groove worn in on autopilot can be worn in on purpose instead. So make your nervous system your ally, starting now. I automate one useful action while my will is still fresh before the day spends it. I treat this first hour as mine, not the feed's. I notice the groove I'm forming, not just the task in front of me. I do not wait for the dramatic turning point. This ordinary hour is already it. I shape the massive habits on purpose, one morning at a time. A Harvard psychologist writing in 1890 and a tech founder writing online today both arrived at the same morning. The first hour is never neutral. It is either training you or someone else is training it for you. If that gave you something to carry into this first hour, stay with this channel, where every morning starts before the world wakes up. And before you go, what's one habit from your first hour that you never actually chose? It just happened? Write it below. I read each one. Begin disciplined. End reflective. Now rise.